Hey, what's up, everyone watching? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. This is a new YouTube channel, Wolfpack Fight Club. I will be showing BKFC content, UFC, as well as boxing. Mainly in the order will probably be boxing, BKFC, and then UFC. So, in some quick BKFC news, if you haven't heard, Conor McGregor is now co-owner of BKFC. As he will not be fighting in BKFC, he will be highly involved in the promotion of BKFC. So this is, adds to the momentum of BKFC rapidly growing across the nation as well as going international and worldwide. They will be hosting an event in England and then Bulgaria, and then there's upcoming BKFC event. I believe it's June 21st, and that will be BKFC number. Let's see, number should be. I think it's 60 something. Um, but yeah, last Friday that just passed, they had Prospect Nights out in Denver, Colorado, which is pretty much the birthplace of BKFC. They pretty much fight bare knuckle. They just have wraps around their hands covering like an inch below their knuckles and pretty much go at it. Um, I love the fast pacedness, just the constant throwing of punches, a lot of knockouts, a lot of, bloods, just a lot of like fast paced momentum and action. If you're interested in that, I recommend you check out some of their videos and highlights I will be posting as well. And if you haven't heard, this Saturday, UFC 302 in the co-main event, Strickland versus Costa. I was disappointed. My expectations were, a lot higher than what I saw. It was pretty boring. Even the crowd booed a couple times during the fight because it was just, two guys in there and they just stuck to their game plan. Strickland clearly won as he stuck to his game plan. He kept kicking Costa in his body, wearing him down, and he wasn't consuming that much energy and his in his game plan as Costa was trying to come in at Strickland, but Strickland just kept throwing jabs and kicking him and just keeping Costa raw power off of Strickland. But yeah, I mean at the end, couple 20 seconds is where things really started to blow up, and Strickland made some really powerful strikes on Costa. Looks like Strickland could have knocked Costa out. I wish I would have wish that would have happened earlier in the rounds and made the fight more exciting. But we got what we got, and Strickland came out with the victory. And then in the main event was much better. You had Dustin that survived several takedowns from Islam. He had him in a chokehold a few times. Dustin was able to survive that and get out. Um, you know, Dustin did bust up Islam's forehead. He started bleeding out of it, and like looked like it was starting to look better for Dustin, but eventually, like by the end, Islam got him finally in another takedown, and I don't know if Dustin was just tired or because Islam's really strong, really good in the ground in wrestling and in submission, and he was finally able to pull off a submission and pretty much put Dustin to sleep for like a second. That's what he said to somebody in like an interview. He said that yeah, he like passed out for like a second, and then that's how Islam won. Dustin, thought that he could pull it off a few times. It was looking good for him, and then that happened out of Islam's great wrestling skills that he has. And yeah, so that how that UFC 302 ended the night. Um, but yeah, overall it was a good fight night. And then if in other news, in boxing in Saudi Arabia, you had the 5 versus 5 Queensbury Promotions versus Matchroom Boxing, and it was a clean sweep for Queensbury as all their fighters won. It was a complete blowout. Um, so yeah, Eddie Hearn was disappointed in that, and then but it was a a lot of good fights in that matchup, a lot of good fights. Um, the Zhang versus Wilder. Wilder pretty much got knocked out by a big counter right from Zhang, and then Wilder kind of was dazed and turned his back and moved back, and he was like, "What the hell happened?" And Dang took advantage of that, came from him from behind and landed another right. While he wasn't even really paying attention or really knew what was going on, and that finally finished him and knocked Wilder down. He fell like a sack of potatoes, and the ref pretty much called the fight after he got up after like 9 seconds or something, and that's how that ended. But I will be posting some highlights and videos of the events on the weekend. So if you're a fan of combat sports, make sure you like and subscribe. And leave a comment on some of your thoughts on some of the fights, on what you thought about the Strickland versus Costa fight, and if you're interested in BKFC as well or have seen any fights, let me know what you guys think about BKFC.